What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today's going to be a much different video format than what I usually do. I'm actually going to react to a video that it popped up on my phone when I went to YouTube for, because this is what everyone watches. You can see this guy right here, Jeff Nippard. He's got 5.77 million subscribers, and he just posted his video, the best and worst biceps exercises, 9 hours ago, and it's got 372,000 views already. So safe to say this guy is a titan of the YouTube fitness game, I guess you can call it. He's like one of the top gurus, and shit, looks like you make a video on every single muscle group. Maybe I'll react to those in the future. You guys are probably like, dude, you don't even watch these videos? I haven't.
Biceps get a lot of attention.
Oh, start already. But yeah, this is going to be a live reaction. I have not watched this yet. And let's get right into it.
Biceps get a lot of attention, and for good reason. Simply growing this one muscle can make a dramatic difference in how jacked you look in a t-shirt. So in this video, I'll be covering the best and worst biceps.
So I'm guessing these are all the movements he's going to be covering. I can already tell. I don't do most of these, okay? You guys, if you've been watching this channel for a while, there are certain bicep workouts that I've done religiously for a while now. That's barbell curl, either with the straight bar, easy bar, preacher curl, okay? I was doing it on the machine a lot, but lately I've been doing free weight preacher curl, and it feels way better. Love doing it. And that's with the easy bar, of course. And dumbbell hammer curl, I like doing that as well. And dumbbell incline curl, can't forget that one. Those are the only ones I do. I don't do any of these you can see right here. And that's just me assuming that these are the ones that he's going to cover in this video. 20 movements. This is going to be a long video, guys. Hope you are ready for it.
At least on the latest science. I'm going to rank them on a tier list from S for super to F for fatal. And at the end, I'll crown one exercise as the best of the best, and I'll pick one as the worst of the worst. And here's my criteria for ranking exercises. To get into S tier, it needs to provide high tension, especially in the stretched position. It needs to feel good, which means it doesn't cause elbow pain, and it has a smooth resistance profile. And it should have a simple progression.
All right, so, I mean, when I see it needs to feel good, I don't necessarily agree with that. He said, does it cause elbow pain? Of course you don't want to be doing workouts that are going to jack up your elbows, right? Obviously. But when he says that, it needs to feel good, most newbies, most people new to the gym, even people that are more experienced lifters, they're probably going to interpret that the wrong way, okay? I'm just going to say it right now, not every workout is going to feel good, okay? Just think about barbell back squats. Doing a heavy set of those, does that feel good? No, it doesn't, right? It feels like shit. Heavy deadlifts, does that feel good? No. Heavy bench press, barbell bench press, no, it doesn't feel good, okay? All those movements, they don't really feel good, okay? Now, if you're going on a machine, doing those, yeah, it might feel a little better because it's less taxing on the body, but, to say that it needs to feel good, I do not agree with that at all, okay? Some of the best workouts, like I said, squats, bench press, deadlift, they don't feel good, okay? And look at the results that they have brought many lifters throughout, the past, I don't know, people probably been deadlifting, since the fucking beginning of time, you don't even know. So, stretch and tension, I mean, there's not really much I can say about that. When I hear stretch and tension, I just think of full range of motion. I don't know, I don't really dig too deep into these things. I know I always talk about like, I'm not really into this science stuff, and I'm really not, okay? I don't think about all this shit, stretch and tension. It needs to feel good. Simple progression. I agree with that, obviously, simple progression. Is there anything simple about progressing when you get the heavier weights? I mean, the format of progressing, right? Progressive overload, it's simple in itself, but actually doing it, I don't really think that's simple or easy. It's very challenging. But let's hear what he has to say.
It's ultimately what keeps your arms growing. If you can't add weight or reps over time, I'm knocking it down. Now, the biceps have two heads.
Okay, I agree with that.
Implies there's a short head, which sits on the inside of your arm, and a long head, which sits on the back of your arm and contributes more to that elusive biceps peak. There's also another big muscle that sits underneath the biceps.
Yeah, again, I really don't look too deep into these things. It's like the certain heads of the bicep, right? If you're doing, any type of curl, really, you're gonna hit most of these, if not all of them. So don't worry too much about this shit unless you're into this stuff. And I know, like, I go to the gym and I can tell that so many people watch these videos and they're really into these types of videos, which is cool. You're into learning about lifting, all this like science stuff. That's cool. But if you're just, you just enjoy lifting weights and you just enjoy the simplicity of it, letting out aggression while lifting weights, you just enjoy it in general, right? I really wouldn't look too deep into this stuff.
It's an important muscle, and as we go, we'll consider which variations will target which head. And along the way, we'll see that there's some decent evidence that you most likely can target your biceps peak.
All right, so, he's selling this video right now. He's like saying, oh, you can't miss this one. He's probably going to go over it like this part of the video, like 12 minutes in. But all YouTubers do that, whatever. I have yet to see footage of him doing any of the workouts that I like doing, at least the variations I do. So this is going to be pretty interesting. I know he showed his graph, like S to F or whatever. I guess S tier is like the best one. I'll just tell you right now, S tier for me is all the ones that I do. I don't do any other ones that I don't think are phenomenal for bicep growth. I do the preacher curl, easy bar, not the machine anymore. I've pretty much ditched that. Standing barbell curl with an easy curl bar or a flat bar, or straight bar, whatever. Each will work. And dumbbell hammer curl and then dumbbell incline curl. That's all I do for biceps. And those have built me some really nice arms. Okay, that's only about 5 years of training about. And I hope for Jeff's sake that he puts all those in either S tier or A tier. So
exercise in particular,
let's see.
I think you should definitely include if you're trying to bring up your peaks. Now, the biceps perform two main biomechanical functions. Elbow flexion, which is when you bend your elbow like in a curl, and supination, which is when you turn your palm facing forward.
Alright, this is just like simple shit. Oh, look at this. Got barbell curl here. Here we go. What's going on? What is this? Don't tell me my TV. Oh my god.
And so are the prices with 40%
Forgot YouTube ads.
From Hobby Lobby. Cozy up your home with warm florals, themed pillows.
We will skip that.
Above that, tension goes down. And below that, tension also goes down until it reaches zero tension at the very bottom. And the very bottom is also when the biceps are most stretched. So this most likely isn't ideal, but you'll still grow your biceps as long as you're pushing hard. And the barbell curl is very good for overload. You can easily add a little weight each week. The biggest issue is that the straight...
You'll still build your arms if you train hard. I mean, if you're not training hard, why are you even at the gym, right? Little thing I picked up on there, like, why say that, right? Everyone should be training hard. Every fitness guru should be advocating for training hard, okay? And I'm sure this guy does, but to say something like that, it's like, makes you think a little bit.
That'll put some strain on my wrists. Plus, in public gyms, putting up a squat rack just to do curls is bad etiquette. That's because you can do curls so many different ways, but you really need a squat rack to do barbell squats. All things considered, I think the barbell curl belongs in C tier plus, but I'll bump it up to B tier just because it's so accessible. The easy part.
Wow. So he thinks it should be in C tier, but then he puts in B tier for whatever reason. Wow. That is not a good look. Okay. I can attribute the majority of my growth for my arms, which are very close to 17 inches now, to that workout, to progressively overloading on barbell curls. And that's using a straight bar, not the easy curl bar. I guess he's about to get into the easy curl bar, which, yeah, easy curl bar, everyone will tell you it's a little easier on the wrists, the joints, which I'm sure he's going to talk about that. But the straight bar, if you can do it, that will build you great biceps. Okay, don't let this C tier, B tier, throw you off. And one of the biggest things that I can take from that is, again, someone very new to the gym is going to be watching this and they're going to throw basically the best bicep workout out the window because he basically put it in C tier, right? So interesting there.
Except the handles curve in a way that eases up some torque on my wrists. I use that outer part of the easy bar because a shoulder width grip feels more comfortable. This grip angle puts you in between a fully supinated grip, like you'd use on barbell curls, and a neutral grip, like you'd use on hammer curls. However, if you use this in-between angled grip, it will take your biceps out of supination to some degree. This means it might shift some tension toward the brachialis and brachialis instead of the biceps per se. So to make sure my biceps are still firing, I simply think about driving through my pinkies as I curl. Problem solved. I actually really like the easy bar curl, especially as a heavy free weight bicep movement in the 6 to 8 rep range. From an optimization standpoint, it probably belongs in B tier, but I'm going to go ahead and bump it up to A tier because it's still in it.
All right, I can be okay with that. I do think both of these belong in S tier. I think they're great workouts. He was talking about some cues that help him. I like that. That's cool, especially the pinky one. Very nice. But the rep range thing, but between 6 and 8, I mean, just train hard, right? I found the best success by just training hard and at least doing more than 5, especially on this movement. As long as you do 5 or more for that really heavy set, you're golden, okay? And don't worry too much about cheating a little bit. You're going to want to sway the hips a little bit to get the weight up. If you're doing heavy weight, you should be doing heavy weight on these, right? Don't worry about just staying so strict. It's going to be very hard to progress on that weight on this workout doing that. Definitely cheat a little, okay? Don't be, throwing it up, and jerking your back out. Don't be doing that. Your chest just cracked. But, yeah, you guys can get the gist of it.
Exercise I do quite often for the convenience, simplicity, and overload. The standing dumbbell curl has 0 tension in the full stretch.
All right, so he did say he does it very often. So kudos to Jeff for that.
Just like the barbell and easy bar curl. Honestly, I might have made a bigger stink about this if I made this video a few months ago, where our new study came out on full range of motion versus length and partials in experienced trainees. Check out this video for more on that. So, the dumbbell curl loses 1 point for the suboptimal tension curve, but it's still a very convenient exercise that'll still grow your arms. It's also nice that you get to work each side individually, which can help fix bicep size asymmetries. Doing alternating dumbbell curls might be slightly less optimal, just because your biceps get this long rest in between each rep. The study from Bodo and colleagues makes me think that doing those long pauses without any tension in between reps probably is a bit worse for muscle growth. As long as you're doing both arms at the same time.
Alright, so talk about studies.
Low A. Doing your dumbbell curls as preacher curls immediately makes the exercise better. That's because by angling your upper arm, you actually pull more tension into your biceps in the stretched position. And even though your arm is out in front of you,
I can agree with this.
Stretch here, as long as you go all the way down. More importantly, high tension in that stretched position. Having high tension in a stretched position seems to be more important than the total stretch that a muscle experiences. This was shown in a recent study that compared incline curls to preacher curls. The preacher curl caused significantly more distal biceps growth, closer to the elbow joint. That's most likely because with the preacher curl,
you can pull up this study and be like, all right, preacher curl grows the arms more. But in my opinion, the way I look at it, these are 2 different workouts, okay? I do this and I do this. I do both of them on my arm days, okay? Or I switch my split up, but I always do these together when I'm doing biceps, okay? I never choose one over the other one. This is a great workout. and this is also a great workout.
You get very high tension in a pretty good stretch, while with the incline curl, you get basically no tension and a very big stretch. Preacher curls also lock your elbows in place, making it near impossible to cheat. There's basically nothing I can knock it for, so the preacher curl definitely belongs in S tier. And as for incline curls, since we now have that study showing that they are a bit worse than preacher curls, they have to go in a lower tier. I still do them from time to time, since they're a solid, lengthened bias movement that's fast to set up and easy to do. I'm still putting them in low A tier. The line dumbbell curl is basically just the more extreme version of the.
I have never done this. Okay.
Mike's arm routine, so I tried them out for myself. While they do look a bit wonky, they actually felt pretty solid. You get this huge stretch, especially near the top of your bicep, close to your shoulder. This felt great to me, but if you have shoulder issues,
I mean, I'm sure these do give you a good stretch, but do these look like they feel good? They don't, right? They look like they feel like shit, okay? It definitely probably does not feel good right here on the front of the shoulder, okay? So for him to say that in the beginning of the video, oh, it needs to feel good, then show this workout, I mean, it might work for you, yeah, cool, but there's no way that like this is light years better than either dumbbell incline curl or, you know, preacher curl. Just do the other ones, right? This looks too uncomfortable, you know, especially if you keep your head like this, right? I would not do something like this.
I want to skip this one. Also, unlike the incline curl, when I lie down, I can feel more tension in my biceps in that most stretched starting position. So, while it's a bit too early for me to say if I like it better than the standard incline curl, I definitely think it's worth trying out, and I'm putting it in A tier. The Scott curl is basically just a preacher curl with a arm.
Maybe I'll try that one out. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it one of these days when I'm just dicking around in the gym. I don't know. Probably not, but this guy put in A tier. He's got 6 million followers. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a shot.
And while the man who it's named after has some of the most impressive biceps of all time, I don't think it's the best biceps exercise. That's because by placing our arm vertically, you remove all the tension in the stretched position. It's basically just a worse version of the 45-degree preacher curl, so I just don't see why you do it. And for that reason, it's gone in C tier. On the other hand, the flat bench curl.
Yeah, I mean, I've done those before too, and, you know, it just didn't really stick with them because it's not that they didn't feel good. I just didn't feel a good contraction in my biceps. And he basically said the same thing, just in his own words. And it worked for that one guy, though. The Larry Scott guy. I don't know if you guys know who that is. You know, he's a pretty successful bodybuilder. It worked for him. And this is probably the part of the video where I should talk about how not everything that works for Jeff or that works for me is going to work for you, okay? Workout selection, you know, it's going to be up to you, okay? What works for you is going to work for you, might not work for me, might not work for him. Will it be different than what works for me, what works for him? Probably, right? But when I say doing the basic movements like standing barbell curl, dumbbell incline curl, preacher curl, the easy bar, you know, dumbbell hammer curl, I think those will definitely be successful for most people. Will they be your favorite workout? You won't know until you try them, okay? But I do think they will help anyone grow good biceps.
It's basically a preacher curl with the bench angle completely horizontal. Doing curls this way will cause the highest bicep tension in the most stretched position, and then tension drops off throughout the positive. I was doing these for a while as a high-level finisher. I found myself gravitating back toward the standard 45-degree preacher curl lately. I find you just hit a...
Like, this is cool stuff. You want to switch up your workout, but you got to go on the floor, put your knees on the floor, you know, do this. Like, I don't know if you guys have looked at your gym floor. My gym floor at the gym I go to looks nothing like this gym's floor, okay? This gym looks like clean, dude. Like, it just opened yesterday. And I wouldn't really want to do something like this because the setup, you know, I know it only takes a few seconds to go down and start doing it, but what's the difference between this and preacher curl if you're trying to get that elbow in front position? Like, just do a preacher curl. I get if preacher curl is getting stale for you, you're trying to switch things up, okay, but If it's not stale, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
With your progression on these, because you're limited to light weights and high reps. As a high rep burnout with a really big stretch emphasis, I think they're good, but they got old for me quickly. I'm putting them in low B tier. The machine preacher curl has the added benefit of being nice and locked in. I actually only do these in the bottom half of the range to emphasize the stretch a bit more, and I do these every single week. They're easily going in S tier, but are still not my...
I do like the machine preacher curl. Okay, I would probably, if I was doing like a list like this, I'd probably put them in B tier. Okay, I just don't think they're as good as the barbell easy bar preacher curl, the free weight one, because your body's not working as hard to stabilize it. Okay, I do think the harder the workout is, the better it is, because you're going to work harder to complete it. And also you can get a much deeper stretch on the free weight one, the easy bar preacher curl one, than you can on the machine. And that's, from my experience on preacher curl machines, a lot of them, they don't let me stretch to like that longest point, right? And I hate that. That pretty much takes away all the effectiveness of the preacher curl for me. And of course, I just like, using free weights more. It's much more challenging, much more fun too.
Number one bicep builder. Before we get to that, let's knock out the wader curl. This is probably the most gimmicky biceps exercise I actually see people do. It cranks your wrists, plate feels awkward, and you're limited with overload. I just use dumbbells instead. If you really want to hyperextend your wrists a bit to help take your forearms out, you can still do that with dumbbells, but with more degrees of freedom. I'm putting wader curls in F tier. The drag curl,
yeah, 100% agree with that. I've never even tried to do
the bicep under a greater degree of stretch. However, as you curl, you're shortening the bicep at the elbow joint while simultaneously lengthening it at the shoulder joint. This means that the total biceps muscle length
I love these.
range of motion.
I love these faces he's making as he's like pulling up a 20-pound dumbbell. It's just hilarious. I don't know, make fun. It's just like, he's like, 20-pound dumbbell,
It's kind of similar to how the total hamstrings muscle length.
I've never tried this one either, drag curl or whatever.
Squats don't grow the hamstrings very well. So even if there's no direct science on it, I still think the drag curl wouldn't grow the biceps as well as a more standard dumbbell curl. It's going in C tier. The spider curl is the other overrated exercise. By shifting your arms forward in front of your body, you're putting your biceps in a very shortened position. So at no point in this range of motion will your biceps experience a high degree of stretch. The dumbbells can also annoyingly hit the bench and throw off your groove. So spider curls are going in C tier. Okay, chin-ups. You look at the...
Yeah, I agree with those. Those three little, I just call them horseshit workouts, right? Not very good. Okay. I would never do those, right? Unless I like completely got bored of, growing muscle, then maybe I'd dick around and do those. But very interested to see what he says about chin-ups here. Okay. I think weighted chins, you can get two birds with one stone. Big back, big biceps. Okay, that's my opinion on them. I like doing them. I haven't been able to do them though because my weight belt is in storage. It's like buried by a bunch of other shit. And the gym I go to does not have a weight belt. So I haven't really been able to do them. I don't really like doing them body weight because then I have to do like 20 something reps. It sucks. I like doing them with weight. And again, it's going to kill two birds, one stone.
From a side angle, you can see that there's actually a pretty solid range of motion at the elbow joint. And out of all the back exercises, I do think these will grow your biceps the most. However, because so much of your back musculature is also involved, it's unlikely that your biceps will be the limiting factor. And so, while they clearly will grow your biceps, especially as a beginner, I don't think they're as good as most isolation exercises. That said, because they're so accessible, all you need is your own body weight, I'm still putting them in B tier. Okay, let's have some fun.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with Jeff very strongly on that. Okay, if you're a beginner, do that. Get good at those, do them heavy, get to a point where you can add weight and just do them, okay? That is a very challenging workout. Weighted chin-ups in general are a very challenging workout. And he talks about ISO, isolating the biceps. A lot of ISO movements, okay, like the machines that, I'm sure he's got more machine movements that he's going to put in S tier. These are great for the icing on the cake, right? Like finishing your workout after you've done the hard movements already. You've already blown your central nervous system, right? You're shot out, low on energy. It's great to do those at the end of their workout, but to say that they're better than these challenging movements, I just completely disagree.
21s are a sort of bro exercise where you do 7 reps in the bottom half, then 7 reps in the top half, and then you finish with 7 full range of motion reps. It's a fun way to challenge your arms, but I just don't think it's in the right order. Traditional 21s has you hit the lengthened part first, which is probably the most anabolic. Then you hit the shortened part, which is
Anabolic, bro. I have actually done these before. They are fun, right? Don't think too much into them. I was working out with one of my old, when I went to county college, one of my old baseball teammates there, and he was like, yo, let's do 21s. I'm like, the hell is that? And we did them, and yeah, it was fun, right? But haven't done them since, so, but they were very enjoyable little workout.
And then the full range of motion lengths. So the order is long, short, full. I think it's a lot smarter to do these short, then full, then long. So I do 7 seated curls first, which trains the shortened top half. Obviously you could just do these standing, but I find doing them seated standardizes the range on each rep and keeps it more interesting. Then I stand up and do 7 full ROM curls, and then I do 7 bottom half curls at the end. This way the curls get a little easier as your biceps fatigue. This way you get to end the set with a bunch of different partials. I don't always stop at exactly 7 reps at the end either.
This just seems like too much, like too complicated.
So if you do 21s the old school way, I think they belong in high C tier. But if you do them the modified way, I think they can get into low A tier. Okay, let's find
You do them his way, low A tier.
The standard cable curl is good, but not great. By having your arms at your sides, you don't get a big pre-stretch in your biceps. I do still include these periodically though, because you do get this nice even tension throughout the range of motion. And I do think they're just good enough to get into low A tier. However, by flipping around and facing away from the cable, you immediately improve the tension profile. By placing your arms back behind your torso,
Tension
profile biceps, and you still get that nice even tension throughout the range. I recommend setting up the cable at around hand height, taking 1 or 2 steps forward, pulling with both arms at the same time.
I mean, I don't hate cable workouts. I'll say the same thing that I said with the machines before. Icing on the cake here, okay? If you like this stuff, definitely do them towards the back end of your workout, but you're going to get much better growth and much better strength gains if you do the basic movements that I already touched on.
If you don't have a dual stack cable machine, you can always do one arm at a time. And if you're trying to bring up your biceps peak, this is an exercise I definitely wouldn't skip, because the long head will experience a very high degree of stretch and tension. It's probably not my #1 exercise for the peak. I'll get to that in a second. The face-away Bayesian cable curl is going in S tier.
Wow. Let's just look at this for 1 second. So he's got preacher curl, okay? He didn't really, or I guess that's the free weight one, because then he's got the machine one right next to it, and then he's got this Bayesian, I don't even know what it's called, sorry. Crack it up here. I think this is horseshit, okay? Putting all these 3, maybe not free weight preacher curl up there, but putting these 2 in front of, easy bar curl, or I'm sorry, that's the 21 one. Easy bar curl, dumbbell incline curl, like chin-ups, like it's just baffles me, okay? And I'll get back to my main point. A noob, a guy brand new to the gym is going to watch this and be like, all right, I only have to do these. When the basic movements that every beginner should do are down here.
It's amazing. All right, this is a freaky looking variation on the Bayesian cable curl that I've been playing around with lately. I don't have a name for it yet, so I'll open it up to suggestions in the comments. The cool thing about this variation is that you actually get this 90-degree angle between the cable and your forearm while the bicep is most stretched. This means you're getting maximum tension on the biceps while they're in their most stretched position. They were a little awkward the first time I tried them, but once I figured out the right cable height, they felt fantastic. I'm honestly feeling S tier, but since I've only had them in my rotation for about a month, I don't want to overhype them too early, so I'm going to tentatively drop them back to A tier for now. You may be surprised to learn that there actually aren't any studies on whether or not cheating or strict form causes more muscle growth.
Oh, here we go, another ad.
What's up at DQ? 2 sauced and tossed chicken strip baskets, all white meat chicken in your choice of wing famous flavors like honey barbecue or Parmesan garlic.
Gotta watch
Hurry in.
10
What
seconds.
flavor is it? DQ. DQ. Happy tastes good.
With Plymouth Rock, I never wonder if I'm covered for home and auto.
More safe.
Planning to help run that study soon. But for now, I can't see the theoretical merits of both, as long as the cheating isn't too extreme. By using a little momentum to help get the weight moving, you can curl up a bit more load and then resist and control that load.
Okay, so he did touch on this. I'm happy he did. Obviously doing that, he's like dressed like a gym douchebag doing the shitty one. But yeah, slight momentum. I absolutely 100% agree with that.
In the very anabolic negative phase. This might surprise some of you, but I actually think a properly executed cheat curl can be great for biceps growth and can also teach some people who might be more uptight and rigid with their form how to push themselves hard. I definitely don't think I'd recommend them for
I can get
beginners.
behind that.
As an experienced trainee, as long as you can control the negative and keep the cheating under control, I'd put them in the bottom of A tier. The strict curl is at the opposite end of the
Wow.
spectrum.
So he has his own thing for cheat curls, and they're not S tier. Wow. Whew.
Here, you maintain very strict technique by bracing against a wall with 3 points of contact: your glutes, your upper back, and your hip. The theoretical upside here,
This brings me back a little bit. I don't know if you guys ever saw those. They like go around your lower chest, right below your chest. And you keep your elbows in place. They're actually meant for the straight bar curl, easy bar curl. My dad actually used to have one, and this thing was like rusted, and I used it a few times, and I mean, it keeps your elbows in place, right? It works. Definitely helps if you're really trying to go for this strict form. But I honestly think you're better off with doing a slight cheat, learning how to use momentum, as Jeff said a few seconds ago. And I definitely put cheat curls in S tier, not A tier.
if you direct all the tension coming from the bar into your biceps. Unlike with the cheat curl, there's no tension being lost to your hips or your low back. With strict curls, if you're lifting more weight or doing more reps, your biceps are getting stronger, and they're most likely getting bigger too. I suspect strict curls would be a bit better than cheat curls, but without that study, it's hard to know for sure. And honestly, I could see it going either way. So I'm going to leave strict curls in A tier for now as well. Now, hammer curls are really interesting.
Weird to see how there's not a study on that yet. Very weird. I figured someone would
This
have
means
done
the
that,
biceps
but
probably
guess not.
will be less active on hammer curls than on standard curls. However, remember, there's this other big muscle that sits directly underneath the biceps called the brachialis. And the brachialis will be very active on hammer curls. That's because all it does is bend the elbow. It can't contribute to supination at all. So by performing hammer curls, you might shift some tension away from the biceps and toward the brachialis. And since the brachialis can push the biceps up more, that should enhance the appearance of bicep peak. And because of their ability to smash the brachialis, I think I would consider them my #1 movement for biceps peak. Now, obviously, you can't change the genetic structure of your biceps. There's honestly no hard science on this, but it does make sense to me that as you grow your brachialis bigger, the shape of your bicep should become more peaked, even if just a little. Of course, dumbbell hammer curls have the same tension issue as all their
I do these all the time. I do them single, okay? And I don't do them because I think they're going to grow my peak. I do them because I just like doing a movement where I'm not supinated, okay? I like doing one where it's just like this. Feels good right here in my forearm. And I guess he's talking about brachialis. I guess that too, the long head or whatever. And also because when I do heavy hammer dumbbell curls like this, I get stronger at doing the other ones. Okay, there's a big carryover in strength gains for me from doing this to doing easy bar curl. So that's why I do them. I would definitely recommend them for you guys. I hope this guy puts them in S tier. We will see.
standing curls, so they're not quite good enough to get into S tier, but they
Oh.
definitely do belong in A tier.
A tier
That
it
said,
is.
If you do your hammer curls while braced against a preacher bench, you instantly improve the resistance profile. And so, Hammer grip preacher curls are going in S tier. Inverse Zombie.
That is something I have been wanting to try lately. Might do it next arm day. And that is just on the preacher curl pad, either doing what he was doing, single arm dumbbell hammer curls, or even reverse grip curls. Okay, I do like reverse grip curls.
Curls are where you do a hammer curl on the positive and then a standard supinated curl on the negative. This means you get the advantage of hammer curls on the positive for the brachialis and the advantage of supinated curls on the negative for the biceps. These also can help overload the biceps on the negative with a bit more load, since you're generally able to curl more weight up with a hammer grip. And since your biceps are stronger on the negative, I think that's a smart pairing. Inverse Zombie curls are going in high A tier. And if I had to pick just one exercise...
Oh my god, here it is. Here it is. As for the inverse Zombie curl, I've never done that. I like it though. I mean, it looks like something different. Okay, I like how you're like twisting and going down or whatever. Seems cool, right? I should probably try it.
Best of the best, it had to be the face away Bayesian cable curl.
Oh my god, this guy has Bayesian. How do you say that? Bayesian. Yeah, I don't know what they're called. Yeah, I just hard no for me. Okay, choosing these over the basic movements, amazing, right? It just baffles me.
45-degree preacher curl would be a very close second, and I think they should both be in your biceps routine. And the worst of the worst would have to be the wader curl. Also, I want to give you guys a quick update on my new book. I'm going to send it back.
All right, so that's it for that. What did I think of it? I mean, it's cool. You know, he gives all these movements, okay? Very, very disappointed, though. He didn't have any of the movements that I do besides preacher curl in S tier. So, I mean, it is what it is, okay? My message, and I guess the reason now, after watching this for making this video, is if you're a newbie to the gym, get good at the basics, right? Easy bar curl, straight bar curl. Learn how to effectively use momentum and progress on it. Dumbbell incline curl, dumbbell hammer curl, okay? And the preacher curl. Get really good at those. Weighted chin-ups, okay? If you can't do weighted chin-ups, do chin-ups. Get really good at those first, and then you can kind of mess around with these Bayesian cable curl or whatever. Then you can mess around with things like that, okay? Don't look too deep into the science, like, oh, what's hitting this head, what's hitting that head. Just go to the gym, get good at these basic movements, and you'll be good, okay? That's what I did. You may not like the movements that I do as much, which that's why I do think these videos have some merit to them, right? They do have some, they are very helpful, okay? Because they give all these movements. Try out these other ones then. But again, I do think the free weights, you know, much more challenging, going to give you much better results than these cable alternatives and all that shit, you know, the machines and all that. Get good at those movements first. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this video. If you guys like this reaction thing, let me know in the comments and I'll do some more. As always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.